Hi, it's Terry Foley here. I am here to talk to you today about trusting yourself, trusting ourselves. Um, Last time I spoke a little bit about these external sources of power and transitioning to internal sources of power, inner wisdom. And today I just want to give you an example of what that looks like, and in hopes that it can shed some light on some practices that maybe you are doing in your life that aren't serving you. So when I talk about external sources of power, outside experts, outside authority, people that you respect in a certain or particular business that you look up to for information, those voices become our internal dialogue. And that's helpful until a certain point because those voices can kind of um, outstay their welcome and get pretty loud. So it keeps us kind of cornered into making decisions that are very aligned with those rigid guidelines and doesn't allow for room for, checking in with ourselves or asking ourselves what we really need on a particular day or um, you know, craving or, that we need more rest or we need more pleasure. So to give you an example of what this kind of internalized voice of the external power sounds like, on Sunday, it's Sunday here. Sundays are my day off. So that is the day I get to do whatever I want. I really try to not commit to any obligations because I don't know if I'm going to have the energy. I don't know what I want to do. I might want to be productive. I might not. And I have a very loud inner voice when it comes to being productive. It wants me to be productive all the time. If I'm not doing something, then it starts. So I typically like to work out in the mornings. Sunday, I don't like to get up. I don't like to have to set my alarm, so I don't. And I make this decision very consciously, and yet the voice starts to come in. You should be doing something. You should go to yoga. You'll feel better. You should go to the lake and run. You gotta go early because it's gonna be too hot later. You know the voice, right? The voice that's kind of incessant, that you should be doing something different than you're doing right now. That's the bottom line. Like, who you are being right now is not okay. And in order to be better, you need to do this, 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 and this. So typically I do this, this, and this, and this because it feels good to be productive. It feels good to move my energy in that way. But like I say, consciously I'm making that decision on Sundays to not have those obligations. So in the past, I didn't ever allow myself to slow down, to relax, to just play for fun. Even when I did play, I was still nagged by that voice. So there wasn't really a letting go and really sinking into pleasure. And then fast forward, I began to fight that voice. Like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm allowed to take a day off. I work really hard. La, la, la. So fighting the voice gives that voice power. So it's actually still an energy drain. Get it? So the alternative is to just know that the voice is going to be there. To know that this voice perhaps gave you a lot of structure growing up and, was a sense of safety for yourself because it told you what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do, what's the good thing, what's the bad thing, do this, not that. And it felt pretty safe to follow those rules. But then after a while, life gets pretty boring when you're just following rules and you're not fully engaging in life and checking in with yourself and listening to your desires and your needs. So when we start to break away from that voice, it's going to talk louder. So just knowing that that voice is there and allowing the space for it to be there and really realizing that underneath that voice is really just a call to try to keep you safe. Like, the intention for that energy is, I want to make sure that you do the right thing because I love you. So when we hear that voice, instead of either, listening to it and always going, or fighting it and feeling drained by it, you can just allow it to be there and love it. Thank it. Thank you for trying to take care of me. And what that does is it gives you more space to really take action and make choices from that deep intuitive place. because when you're in that energy in your mind, it's a stress response. It's a stress response. So your body is, putting out fight or flight hormones. You're in that back part of your brain, the limbic part, where it's very emotional, and we don't always make good decisions from that place. So the only way to get out of that stressed state, not by fighting it or listening to it, is by breathing and coming back to your center. Like, this is a practice over and over that you can do. Just coming home, taking 5 deep breaths, coming back to your center, and then making a choice. Then checking in to see, well, do I want to go for a run? Or, is this really good for me to be in my pajamas at 10 o'clock in the morning and not have anything to do? To really feel that. And that is where, creating an authentic life comes from. It comes from centering, coming into that place inside yourself, which we all have access to. But we need to create space and have intention to come back to that place over and over. Because it's really easy to stay out here. The world is always going to pull us out here. Our mind is the world. So our mind is going to always pull us out here. And it's just recognizing that, noticing it, taking your breaths, coming back home, coming centered, getting quiet to listen to yourself and the voice of your true self, not the voice in the head. So, that's just a practice that is very useful for me. Give it a try in your own life, or maybe you are practicing this already. I'd love to hear any comments or feedback that you have. You can always reach out to me on my website at www.truevitalityforlife.com and check out what I'm doing over there. Thanks for tuning in, and stay healthy. Bye.